afternoon, traders. Adam Ryan here with Optic Trading. Welcome back to another market recap video covering crude oil. Crude oil remains in this pullback, this correction that we've seen. And at this point, we're trying to gauge whether this is going to be anything meaningful to the downside or if this is just a correction. And I'm going to get into the price action, whereas what happened today. So we are testing support on the daily, and I'm going to bring that up here. So this was the support zone that we were testing, and on first test we were thinking that okay, we could see a little bounce from here, and we want to monitor after we see that bounce. Do we see continuation in anything meaningful to the upside, or do we see the sellers step in again? Because last week we did get some bearish news come out of OPEC that could cause the market to kind of landslide downward, and we just had to monitor how we were going to react when we came into the support zone. So going into today's session, we had to note that yesterday's session we seen quite a large up move. So we opened near the lows, closed near the highs, looked pretty bullish, and then we're opening with a large gap lower. So anytime you see this kind of activity where it's a lot of buying and then all of a sudden we open with a gap lower, we got to realize that a lot of these traders in here are now underwater. So meaning that they're buying, they're in losing positions. So in these instances, it's very common that you see a liquidation off the open as these traders are taking their losing positions, they're hitting their stops and they're selling out. So you can see big movement down. Now, one thing to note is that we did have the crude inventory number set to be released today. So in those instances, it's very rare that you see the market just take off and run and trend before these numbers are released, because a lot of hedge funds, institutions, and large traders are waiting for the numbers. So it's unlikely that we just see a trend. So to open up here and just see us majorly trend down would be pretty rare. The context would have to be extremely bearish for us to see something like that. What we ended up seeing is a gap lower, strong exhaustion right in here, large volume, buyers step in, absorb, push price back up to the bearish opening type. We did see a little selling come in, but buyers were still pushing price in. So right in here was where the crude inventory number was released, and we've seen a lot of strong buying, good volume come in, pushing price higher, and then sellers started absorbing right in this price. So we've seen some sell absorption, and then we had a push through to see if there was any new business to be done, snapped back, as well as we were testing a rejection zone. So all that paired together, then we see that the market just really tanked lower. So this bar just absorbed all this, pushed down. The sellers were in control here. So we've seen buyers pushing price up, and then the sellers just step in very aggressively. We ended up pushing price below the previous day's low and closing very right near it. So the close almost closed below yesterday. So we almost retraced all of this up move that we seen yesterday, and it's more clearly on the daily chart. All this up move in here, we pretty much retraced all of that today. So that's looking pretty bearish going forward. So we were expecting that maybe we could see a bounce here. Would it be anything meaningful? And the next bar comes and just absorbs that. So in the days to come, we're going to really want to monitor it, because we still are above this support zone. So we could still see buyers come in, but if we start taking this level out, then we could really see prices start to accelerate to the downside. So right now, going forward in tomorrow's session, I'm leaning more to the downside, just because that price action did retrace this whole move up that we just bounced off support, but we are above support. So I will see if the buyers come in or not, but that's just something to keep note of going into tomorrow's session. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. That lets me know you guys enjoy this content and you want more of it. Best of luck with your trading, and I'll see you in the next video.